Hello everyone, it's Palette Collection Bingo Day. Week 22. I put all of my palettes in a spreadsheet, and once a week I use a random number generator and it tells me which palette I'm going to do for you. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Andi and I'm really happy that you're here. Today we are using the Colourpop All Amethyst palette. Normally I go with my first draw because that's fair. And I almost redrew because I've done a lot of purple looks lately, but this was a gift from Laura the Bargain Hunter for my birthday, and it is such a beautiful palette. I was like, no, I'm not redrawing, I'm doing it. So this is what we're using today, guys. We're using this beautiful palette. I freaking love it so much. Laura will be linked in the description below. Go check out her channel. Very good friend. At least I consider her a very good friend, and she's just very sweet, very enjoyable to watch. She makes my heart happy. Yes, she does. She does unboxings. She does some hauls. She does a Panner's Bingo once a month. I think it's a Panner's Bingo. She does a panning project. And sometimes she does a Get Ready With Me. And I always look forward to those because those are fun. I don't know what I'm doing today, you guys. I don't know. I was going to attempt a halo eye, and then I decided not to. I like to do halo eyes with purple, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this Feb's Gem. This is just what I'm thinking right away. Feb's Gem, and I'm going to put that in my transition area. I hope everyone had an amazing week this week. Tell me something that happened to you this week. Something awesome, or some good news that you got, or something. Tell me something good, guys. That was a song. Was it the 70s? Tell me something good. What was that? Was that the 70s? I love that song. I have in my car, the car that I drive mostly was my dad's car. My stepmom, if you didn't know this story, I'm not going to go into the whole story, obviously, but my stepmom gave me my dad's car. That was his wish, and also her wish. So I have it. It is a 2011 Ford Fusion. It's nothing fancy, but I love it because it was my dad's. I mean, it is a very nice car. But anyway, the first day I got into it, I turned on the radio, as one does, because that's what you do. At least me, I always listen to the radio in the car. So I did that, and I had forgotten that they had satellite radio. So I had told my stepmom, I said, hey, if you're going to cut that off, because it's, I said, let me know, because I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for my satellite radio, because now I'm spoiled. Before, I would put my Bluetooth on and I would listen to my Spotify playlist. Did I tell you guys I already have my eyes primed and set? I mean, I guess you guys already figured that out. With the Ace Beauté eyeshadow primer. I love it. It's great stuff. And I set it with a very light eyeshadow. So yeah, so I have satellite radio, and channel number 8 is the 80s station. I mostly listen to 8 and 9, which 9 is the 90s station. I also listen to 12, which is some kind of a pop, but it's like older pop. It's not like new pop. You guys, I don't listen to new music. I don't listen to it at all. I don't like it. I mean, I love Adele. I do love Adele. And there are some groups that I do like. Crystal Crazy right here. And I'm going to put that in my outer crease and in the outer part of my lid. I don't really listen to new music. I like 80s and 90s. And I like 80s and 90s of everything. I like 80s and 90s pop, rap, country, R&B. I don't care. All of it. Love it. It is my favorite. I also listen to Channel 39, which is called Hair Nation, which is 80s and maybe early 90s, but definitely 80s rock. You know what's funny is when I was in high school, I did not listen to rock. I had a couple of hard rock groups, people that I liked, but my mom wouldn't let me listen to it. She couldn't stand it, so therefore, like if we were in the car or whatever, I wasn't allowed to listen to it. Now, when I was in my own car and I was driving, of course I listened to it. It wasn't until I was probably out, well, I was out of school, before I started listening to like hard rock. Ozzy Osbourne was always one of my favorites, and I think it's because the hoodlum kids down the street. There was one hood rat down the street. His name was John, and he was so good looking, but he was definitely one of the bad kids, and I was not allowed to be around him. But man, I would be riding my bike, because back then you ride your bike all over the place, nobody cares. You're like, you just have to be home before the street lights come on, right? I lived on an alley, and there was an alley that went up and then an alley that cut between, and so I would go hang out with the bad kids, and they're smoking cigarettes and stuff, and I didn't at the time, obviously I didn't, but I always felt like such a rebel because I was hanging out with the bad kids. But they listened to Ozzy, and I freaking loved Ozzy, so I've always loved Ozzy Osbourne. But it wasn't until I was out of school that I started listening to, like, harder rock stuff. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to go into this Royal Affair right here, and I'm just going to put that in my outer corner, because I really want to kind of deepen that up a little bit. This is not super pigmented. It is a beautiful color story, and it is definitely buildable. I think sometimes a buildable palette is really good, because especially if you're a beginner, you don't want something that's super pigmented right off. So it's nice when you can actually build the color to what you want it to be. So I'm just deepening up those outer corners. And now I'm going to take the Sunbird. This Sunbird is freaking beautiful. This right here in the middle. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Look at this. Look at this. There's a shift to it. It's so pretty. I'm going to take that Sunbird, and I'm going to put that on the center of my lid. You know what? I'm going to spray it. That's so pretty. That is such a pretty shade. Probably should have put some glitter primer on before this, but I didn't. But it is coming out very pretty. It is a very pretty shade. I'm putting that on the center and kind of close to the front. That shimmer is so pretty. There's definite shift to it. And then I'm going to go into this high grade, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to put that in my inner corner. Oh, that's pretty. That is a very pretty inner corner shade. And I didn't say this, but you guys probably noticed that I don't have my face makeup on. I wasn't sure how much fallout would be. Sometimes Colourpop palettes have a lot of fallout, sometimes they don't. This did have a little bit of fallout. I did clean it up as I went. That inner corner shade and that Sunbird shade are freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. Okay, you guys, I am going to go off camera. I'm going to do my face makeup. I'm going to do some stuff on the under part of my eye, and I will explain that when I come back. Liners, lashes, lips, and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Finished look. I think this is a beautiful palette. The color story is pretty. It is not your normal purple palette. There are some really beautiful, beautiful shades in here. This is what I used on my inner corner. And this, which is called the, let's see, the night grade, high grade, is what I used on my inner corner. And then the triagonal, which is right here, is what I used for underneath my eye. The Sunbird is what I used on my lid, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love that shade, and it does have a little bit of shift to it, and I'm a sucker for a duochrome. I am. And this right here, which is called Amulet, is that shade right there. Also very beautiful. On my face, I did use the Colourpop blush in the shade Just My Pluck. I did use that. That is a very pretty blush. I don't use this one very often. It's very cool. And I used the BH Cosmetics Aspen palette for my highlighter. And I use this right here, the purpley blue one. And I think it's really pretty. I have noticed I do need to kind of, when it first goes on, it looks a little chalky. So I do need to rub it down a little bit so that it doesn't look real chalky on my face. Okay, rest of my face. I use the Trace retractable eyeliner in black. I do love this eyeliner. The only thing that I recommend with this liner is you do not use the sharpener. This is a very soft liner, which is one of the reasons why I like it so much. It glides on very easily, but the sharpener, if you try to use the sharpener, it just like, it just makes, it's really soft, so it just kind of globs in there and breaks off. So it doesn't really sharpen. On my lashes, I used 2 coats of the Trace mascara in black and 2 coats of the L'Oreal Air Volume, my favorite drugstore mascara. Yes. And then on my lips, I used the Colored Rain liquid lipstick in Classy. And over top of that, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in, I think it's called Pretty Girl. I could be wrong. I am wrong. It's called Venus. It's called Venus. It is beautiful, beautiful shimmery shade. So that's what I used on my face. Everything else I used on my face, my foundation, my powder, my bronzer, all of that, will be linked in the description box below if you're interested. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me for today's number 22 palette collection bingo. Another big thank you to Laura for this absolutely beautiful palette. Absolutely beautiful palette. I love it. I'm so happy that that the random number generator shows that palette this week. I really appreciate you guys being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.